Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Adventures in Collecting YouTube channel, where we unbox the toys we talk about on the show. It's Eric. I'm back with another unboxing, and today we have a twofer. So I'm excited because those of you who know me, who have been listening to the show for a long time, know that I'm a huge fan of the 3 3/4 inch scale. Vintage Collection 5 POA scale Star Wars figures, and lo and behold, there's a new wave out with some actual new figures for once that aren't repacks. Two of which I picked up. I'm super excited to have. So I'm not going to bury the lead on it. I today am taking a look at Clone Commander Wolffe from the Clone Wars, and I am taking a look at K2SO from Rogue One. Truth be told, he's my favorite droid. So I'm really excited to take a look at both of these toys. So before we open them up and get our hands on them, let's take a quick look at the packaging. Like always, the Vintage Collection has gorgeous packaging. Typically, I just take a razor blade to the bottom so that way I can slide the figure out and keep the card intact. At least to look at for a little bit. I ultimately don't end up keeping them, but they are absolutely gorgeous. They have the old Kenner logo. This one shipped from Target and has, a mild blemish. I'm sure somebody who collects the mint would be a little upset about that, but I'm gonna open them, so it really doesn't make a difference. It was packed well with a lot of padding and everything, so no real complaints there. So you can see everything on display here. We've got Wolffe along with his bucket and his two hand blasters. Taking a look at the K2SO package, this, unfortunately, again, if you were somebody that's collecting mint on card, maybe you want to make sure that you find these in a store rather than get them shipped. Mine actually had a label, barcode label right on it. I tried to peel it off for the sake of the video, but you could see that it did not come off. So again, if you are collecting mint, whereas this one came with no blemishes, no bent corners or anything, it's the roll of the dice. So K2, as you can see, comes greatly detailed, and he comes with his blaster. It's his only accessory. Great art from the Rogue One film, and again, that Kenner logo. On the back, we see the rest of their wave mates. The bottom four there are straight repacks with new faceprint tech, with the exception of C-3PO. He is a straight repack. But otherwise, we have the Empire Strikes Back Bespin Luke. We have the Empire Strikes Back Han, and then we have General Lando from Return of the Jedi. And then above, we have Commander Wolffe, we have the Gonk droid, we have K2SO, and we have Luke in his Stormtrooper armor from A New Hope. Like I said, the only two that I was interested in from this wave, having been collecting for a long time and not in the business of necessarily replacing characters, I'm more excited for the new ones. K2 here is an exception to that rule, because I do have the 5 POA K2, which was a great figure from the Rogue One Basic series, but now I'm going to turn that K2 into just a standard Imperial droid for when I have Imperial displays, and this will be my K2 going forward. So without further ado, I'll be back in a second with these out of the box.
Congratulations, you are being rescued. Please do not resist.
And I'm back. So let's start with Commander Wolffe here from the Clone Wars. It is just unfathomable, and again, I can never really get it to focus super well in these videos. It is unfathomable where they have gotten to with the face print technology for these figures. I mean, this is spot on. And, as we just finished up the 2020 Comic-Con at Home, Hasbro announced coming September of 2020 on Hasbro Pulse, there will be a 3-pack featuring the 501st Squad, which is Jesse, Echo, and Fives. So more of this same sculpt and face print. It looks so good. It makes me hope that they, in this scale, that they redo Cody, and that they redo, of course, Rex would be fantastic. This is just such a good figure. So let's get into the articulation. The paint detail is wonderful on it. All the little accents. Again, the detail that they are doing in these 3 3/4 inch scale figures is insane. It's just amazing. So he has the full ball joint shoulder. He can look considerably down, considerably up. you know, as well as left and right. He does have the single jointed elbow here, as well as the ability to, let's see, can he rock at the wrist? Yeah, you can rock up and down at the wrist for some good handgun pointing poses, much like the Mandalorian figure that just came out. He does have the swivel at the waist. His leg movement, he does not have ball jointed legs. I'm trying to see here if I can move his skirt out of the way. Correct. Okay, so he does have, as you can see, he has a skirt here, which would hinder him from outward movement of the legs anyway. So his legs do just go back and forth. I'm sure that will upset some, as, you know, he can't do the splits. I don't see why you'd want him to. He can still do full kneeling poses. You know, if you're posing him, you know, kind of in that position, as well as, you know, the rocker ankles, so he can do the full kneel, you know, or a squat with ease. The helmet, insanely good detail again, you know, down to the antenna, the little red marks on the visor. We'll get this in the light box. It fits snugly and nice. In the past, the head has either looked too large with the helmet on or too small with the helmet off. I feel like they have fixed that. You can feel it the way the helmet goes on. It is a little squishy. So it fits super nice. I mean, it looks great. As no surprise at this point, you know, coming with two hand blasters, he does have trigger fingers in both hands, so he can hold on to them. And then most importantly, for purposes of storage, they fit wonderfully into the pre-molded holsters on, you know, at his hips. So, you know, this is a huge win. If you're a, you know, a troop builder, or, you know, somebody like me who likes to have kind of one of each, you know, representation wise, this is a must-have in this scale. It is a fantastic figure. The detail is great. They nailed it. I'm not as big of a Star Wars fan as I am. I'm not intimately familiar with all of the kind of nitty-gritty, teeny tiny little details on each and every clone trooper or stormtrooper armor. So, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is very accurate given the circumstances. I'm really excited that the Clone Wars General Kenobi and General Skywalker are being reissued. I have those on pre-order. Those were two figures that I slept on originally, and now having a Clone Wars Ahsoka in this scale, along with Rex and Commander Wolffe, and then eventually the 501st. It's going to be a very fun display. So this is a great figure. Moving on to my man K2SO here, Alan Tudyk. Just holding this figure makes me extremely happy. I don't know what it is with me and robotic android figures as of late. If you watched the video for the Iron Giant, I was very smitten with that figure as well. This figure is fantastic. I haven't really gotten a chance to check out the level of articulation here, but it doesn't look like... Trying to see what... The joints are very well hidden because of, you know, the design of the figure. The paint and detail, again, this I can tell you is spot on. This is K2. So cool. All right, so let's get into the articulation here. So the head, of course, has the ability to move all the way around, look up and down, but he also has a second ball joint in there, so his neck actually can lower down and up, separate that of the head, which gives you a really wide range of motion. Let's see, his arms. Are we on ball joints here? I'm trying to see. We're learning this together, folks. I don't want to break it. It feels like it's not a ball joint. I'm really not game to breaking a brand new figure. I'm gonna go with... Yes, it is. All right. So, let me just make sure. I don't know if it's a little... Okay. So his arms are on ball joints here. As you can see, he's kind of doing a V now, whereas opposed he's down. His arms do have these wide shoulder panels, which do prevent him from moving up past that. He does articulate at the elbow in both directions. Yeah, so that's good. Let's see, at the wrist. So again, I can't tell. The paint and detail are so good on it. I can't tell what's an actual joint and what's a painted joint, but he does have a joint there. As you can see, his wrist does make a full rotation around there. Let's see, let's move on to his legs. His legs are on ball joints. He can't do a split, but he can get pretty wide there. So those are on ball joints. Again, his movement is hindered based on the design of his hips. His torso, he does have a sort of, it feels like a ball joint in there, which gives him the ability to crunch forward ever so slightly back, as well as a rock back and forth to the right and left. Moving on to the knees. This is the part that is making me really nervous. I feel like that's a joint, and okay, it is. All right, so his knees do bend. They're tight on my figure, so just be careful. Give them a little bit of love before you move them. But once you get them moving, they're good. There is a little bit of a ratcheting to them, so they will kind of stop in a specific spot. And it looks like, yes. So they also, right above that knee joint, he rotates. So right about here, above the knee, he actually does do a full rotation there, which is great. That's a lot of motion. He's all upper body and these skinny legs, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that having that ability to swivel, much like on a 6-inch scale figure, is gonna lend to posing him very well. Moving on to his ankles, again, these joints are very tight on this figure. Yes. All right. So those also are movable, which is, again, great for posability. K2 is not, he's not necessarily a static figure, but it's not obvious that, like, he gets down into, like, a kneeling position often. So I think that'll be okay. He does have a blaster, a small blaster that fits securely in his hand, including a trigger finger. Trying to thread it through. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So he does securely hold his blaster. It looks like it will go in both hands. Yeah, both hands are set for a trigger finger. So he can comfortably hold that in both hands. There is no holster or place to store this weapon, which would make sense given the fact that he shouldn't have one. Again, awesome figure. If you have the 3 3/4 inch, the standard scale one, don't get me wrong, it's an awesome figure. They did a great job. It's served its purpose for quite some time. But if you are a K2 fan, this is great, because now with him you kind of have the 3 in the vintage collection or Black Series style. You have, actually no, in vintage, they've all been on vintage card backs at this point. So you do have Cassian, you have K2, you have Jin. Recently announced was oh boy, I'm blanking on his name. Chirrut was recently announced, waiting on that Baze announcement. So Rogue One has definitely gotten some love, unlike some of the other films. I'm still waiting for my Dryden Voss 3 3/4 inch scale figure, Hasbro. Waiting. Yeah, so awesome figure. So to recap, 2 great new additions to the vintage collection line in Commander Wolffe and K2SO. If you are a 3 3/4 inch scale collector, they're must-haves. Don't sleep on these. Some of the other ones in the wave, if you have the Power of the Force Gonk Droid, the one that came with the Ewok, I mean, it's a good figure. It has some play features, but it's up to you if you need another Gonk Droid. And for me, I did not get the Han Solo in Stormtrooper armor. That was that Father's Day Target exclusive. I have the mail-away one from the Power of the Force days, which matches the Luke Skywalker one that I have. So again, not necessarily a figure that I need to rebuy. I'm happy posing the 2 of them together in their ultimate muscle form. So that being said, make sure that you subscribe here, down there, to this channel, so that way you don't miss videos like this and experience Dave and I opening toys and taking a deeper dive into them. And while you're subscribing to things, make sure you subscribe to us, or follow us, I should say, here at AIC_podcast on Instagram and Twitter. where we're constantly posting toy news and all kinds of fun stuff. And then, of course, where it all started, the podcast. So Adventures in Collecting, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can visit our website down below in the show notes, which will give you links to everything, including our new blog, which we are updating once a month. So with that, if you see these figures and you are collecting 3 3/4 inch figures, go grab them. And stick around after the fade for some pictures in the light box, where we'll get some comparisons out there. Until next time.